Right, hello guys, this is my tutorial on how to configure TextPad to be used to compile and run and link C++ programs written in TextPad. Um, I had quite a bit of trouble with setting this up and I can't find any guides on YouTube on how to set it up. I did eventually get it working, so I'm just going to talk you through here the kind of process I went through. So I've got a few things in this notepad document which are really useful to use and which is essentially the guide that I used to install it. But here I'm just going to show you exactly what I did so that if you are having problems with using these guides, you could install it for yourself. So first things first, you're going to want to download a compiler, and the compiler that I'm using is cygwin, however you pronounce it, I'm not too sure. That's the compiler I'm using. So if we head to this website, which I will post in the description, you can grab the setup. So essentially, if you click the setup, it will start downloading it. As you can see down here, I actually already have it, so I'm just going to run it. Now, yep, I'm quite happy to install that. Okay, so you come to this next, install from internet. Yeah, that is the directory you want. I'm not sure if that is the default directory, but that is a directory that you should want to use. I'm not too sure if it matters if you use something else, but that is the one I use and mine works. I know with compiling and stuff it can be a bit difficult. So this is the part where it will want you to select the package local directory. Now I recommend you do browse to your folder and make a downloads folder and use that. So next, direct connection, yeah, cool. Okay, it will start connecting and downloading stuff. Mirrors, you just want to choose a HTTP mirror is what I would recommend. So then it will start connecting and start doing some downloading. Now the next part after this, I've already got it installed, so I'm not going to select everything, but I shall show you how it is done. You will want to select these certain aspects because these are the ones that you need to use for C++ to work. So I'll just show you here. Okay, so under D level you want to select astyle. Now it says keep. What you would normally do on something, I'll just do it on the skip to show, is you would click it and you click it once and that's normally fine. It will install that version, if you get what I mean, so 8.6.3.1 etc. So I want to skip them. Now I've got keep, so I could reinstall it. It's only keep because I've already got it. So astyle, as you can see here, so now if we scroll down and find binutils, as you can see here, keep gcc. Now that's the important one because that's your actual compiler, but there's loads. You don't want to install all of them because it's just going to take up so much time and it's unnecessary. So you're going to want to do that for each section and select each one under D level, editors and text. Now I've already done that, so I am just going to skip through it. So next, okay, and select required packages. You just want it to do what it's done. You just want it to carry on and install what you already have. So that will take a little bit of time. Now I'm just going to show you around these guides while that's doing its thing. I will include all three of these in here. This is essentially just where you install. This is just essentially the install download page. Now this is pretty much what I just did in pictures and images. So I'm kind of stealing this tutorial off the internet in a way, but I know people who have had some trouble, and there is one step that does change slightly. And here is another one from Ed Parish, which is essentially telling you how to install TextPad and all of that stuff. So I can take you to the TextPad's website actually. So if you go to TextPad's website, you can download a trial here. So that's how you can get TextPad if you don't have TextPad already. Now on Ed Parish, it gives you some details here. These details are slightly wrong. I used them and it wouldn't work for some programs. Say when you have a .cpp, another .cpp, and a .h, so a header file, and you want to link all three into one main program. It couldn't link. That was the problem I was having. I'm just going to cancel this because I've already got it all. Okay, so the next stage is, after all of that is done, you'll need to, I think you can check if it's installed first of all. Okay, so you can run the cygwin terminal that is installed with it, and in here if you just type G++, no input files. That means it's installed if you get no input files, because obviously you provided no input, so it is giving you the right message. So after this, you'll want to edit your environmental variables. So you can do that here. It is part of control panel. Environmental. There we go. Edit the system environmental variables. You should be able to find it some way. Well, there you go. As you can see, it is under System Properties, Advanced, and Environmental Variables. Now I am on Windows 8, so this may be why. Now you could add this if you want, but I found that this isn't necessarily needed. Now to do that, you would simply put new, and you would put cygwin, and the variable would be no DOS file warning. So there we go. But I'm not going to add that because I've already got it. The bit you need to change is under your path. So you want to edit it. Now don't remove anything, because things there are really important to for your system to work. It will actually like mess up your system. Now I've installed a few things, so you might need to go back a little while to find where I put cygwin in here. Oops. Right, it is in here somewhere. There we go. So there it is. C:/cygwin/bin semicolons, because you need a semicolon to end it. So I've added mine to that. It's really important because that's what is needed to compile it. Now I will add that to the description. Actually, I'll just put it in my little thing so I remember. There is somewhere on it here. About adding it. There we go. This is all in this guide as well, so you should be able to find it here if you are having trouble with it. But whatever you do, do not delete anything, because it's really important, all of that stuff. So I will just stick that in my notepad document to remind myself. Oops. Okay, right, so the next stage is essentially setting up TextPad. So after you've added that to an environmental variable, as you can see from here, it is adding this stuff to TextPad. So if you go onto TextPad and you go Configure, Preferences, and under Tools, these are all your tools. Now you might not have any tools, you might have loads of tools, I don't know. But essentially you want to add, and you want to add a DOS command. And you want it to be cmd.exe. And then if you click apply, you'll see it adds itself to the bottom here. Now it gives you this, when you click on your tools and open up cmd.exe, it gives you this. Now I already have some in place, and my 3 are here. Now for the compile, the command should be cmd.exe. You cannot change that. The parameters, now this is the part where it's changed. The parameters you need to use are these parameters. I will add this to the description, but this is the part that it was going wrong for me. When I used these parameters it worked, but when I used different parameters it didn't. So you simply put those parameters in, bash -c, g++ -c, etc. And you make sure it's save all documents first, capture output, and sound alert when compiled. They're the only 3 you need ticked, and that is all you need on your compile. So that was done by adding a cmd and then changing these bits. And you can change the name by going in here and double clicking slowly, which I did just do. There we go. You can call it kind of whatever, but it would make sense to call it compile. I'm just going to delete that now. Now load is also a cmd.exe, so the same way as we added this, but another one. And the parameters are slightly different. So you want to use these parameters again. I will put them in the description as well. And you want this to be your initial folder again as well. And you want save all documents, capture output, and sound alert when completed. You want all of those ticked as well. And the final bit is run. And a run is also another cmd.exe, but you may not be running your C++ programs within TextPad, but just in case you do, you might as well add this. All this needs to be is $BaseName and $FileDir, and you can have these ticked. But I don't think you need sound alert, obviously. So when you've done that, you can take C++ files and essentially create I'll show you what they create. So if I just go to some of my work that I've done this year, I can show you. So when you compile a header file, you get a .h.c.gch, and when you compile a CPP file, you get a .o file. And what happens is when you use the load version of the compiler that I have set up, it creates the .exe, and then to run it, you right click, command prompt here, main.exe, and there we go, it runs the program and produces the output. So that is how to set up C++ to work on TextPad. If you really get stuck, you can always send me some questions over YouTube and I will try and answer them as best as possible. I hope